What's up, Heat fans? Last video, I challenged you guys, if we got to 4,000 subscribers on that video, I would chug a beer, and you guys absolutely answered the call. So thank you for getting the Heat Report to 4,000 subscribers. Can't believe we're already here, and I appreciate everybody who has joined the rocket ship. We have some Damian Lillard updates in this video, and we will have them in the future, so make sure you hit that sub button. But now I got to chug a beer out of this little shotgun tool, live reaction here, so appreciate 4,000 subscribers, fellas. Let's get into today's video. Welcome back into the Heat Report by Chat Sports, as I'm reeling a little bit here from that beer shotgun. But on today's show, is a Dame trade moving quick? Is things progressing as we get towards a deal here? A lot of new info came out from Damian Lillard's agent, Aaron Goodwin. He had some significant quotes, and here is one of the most significant. I had a positive conversation with Joe Cronin, the Portland Trail Blazers GM, and I made it clear that Damian would want them to sit down and have a meaningful negotiation with Miami. And I think that's something that Joe and the Blazers will do. And this is pretty interesting to me because him publicly saying this to reporters, and he obviously knew this was going to get back to the Heat front office, to the Blazers front office, and obviously he had that conversation with Joe Cronin, is that he's trying to get this trade moving along as quickly as possible. And we saw this before with Rich Paul and Anthony Davis. Rich Paul blatantly went to the media and started spewing things to try to get Anthony Davis traded to Los Angeles to pair it up with LeBron James as quickly as possible. And Aaron Goodwin will try to do the same thing here. Dame obviously wants to play in Miami. The Heat obviously want Damian Lillard. And Aaron Goodwin is trying to progress this as fast as possible. And Dame is just absolutely dying to be a Heatle. It has been the team that he's had his eyes on for probably about 3 months now. If he didn't know if he was going to request a trade. He was giving the Blazers front office time to build a championship roster, but he knew in the back of his mind, if it wasn't going to be Portland, his next team would be in South Beach with Miami, and he just really wants to get started getting traded to the Miami Heat. Aaron Goodwin also had this to say: I do what I should for my client. Some teams did call. Other teams have called me. It's a respectful relationship with most teams. Truthfully, he wants to play in Miami, period. And on one thing, Dame and Aaron Goodwin are Heat legends. If some miracle happens and Damian Lillard is not playing for the Miami Heat next season, I know that Aaron Goodwin and Damian Lillard tried to do everything in their power to get Dame in Miami, and then the Portland Trail Blazers just screwed Dame, their best player in franchise history, and the Miami Heat. So I will never have ill feelings towards Dame and Aaron Goodwin if Dame gets traded somewhere else, maybe like the Boston Celtics or someone like that. I know they want to really play for the Heat, and that's what is his goal for Dame this offseason. But I do want to address a report that came out today that the Celtics could be interested in acquiring Damian Lillard. There was a report that Jason Tatum told the Celtics front office that he wants to get Damian Lillard teamed up with him in Boston. Now, there is a reporter that works for the Boston Globe, Adam Himmelsbach. Hopefully I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. He had this to say after the report came out that Jason Tatum wanted the Celtics to trade for Damian Lillard. The Celtics have no intention of entering the Damian Lillard sweepstakes, according to league sources. Things can change suddenly, of course. Maybe Boston gets pulled in as a third team in a deal, but the Celtics are not pursuing the Blazers star. And this is what I've been trying to say. You can argue that the Celtics would have one of the best packages for Damian Lillard, but it is just clear that teams aren't going to send their farm, all of their assets, to trade for someone that does not want to be in that organization. Like I've just said a couple minutes ago, he wants to play for the Miami Heat. It's been known that if the Blazers send him elsewhere, Dame will be upset, he will be disgruntled, and teams aren't going to send the house to trade for a disgruntled star to have him be disgruntled on their team. It makes no sense. It will always be the Miami Heat. The Blazers are just playing games with social media. But I'll ask you this, and it's today's pinned comment. Are you worried about Dame being traded elsewhere? not the Miami Heat. Type W for worried, type HN for hell no. I'm typing my HNs. He is going to play for the Miami Heat. Now, I wanted to explore 3 different Damian Lillard trade ideas. We've discussed some potential Dame trades in the past, but I wanted to go through 3 of them back to back here to give what my honest opinion on what a Dame trade framework would look like. And this is the first one. The Heat would obviously get Damian Lillard. The Trailblazers would get Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, the Heat's 18th overall selection, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and 3 first-round picks, while the Nets get Tyler Herro and a second-round pick from Portland. Those 3 first-round picks, 2027 from Miami, 2029 from Miami, both unprotected, and then Brooklyn would send a 25 pick, the first-round pick, to the Blazers as they are getting Tyler Herro from the Heat. And this trade feels like the most likely to happen. It just feels the Nets are going to get Tyler Herro. The Blazers are going to end up with 3-4 first-round picks, and they're going to get basically a 5th first-round pick or a 4th first-round pick with Jaime Jaquez. I think a lot of people underestimate this part of negotiations, is that even though Jaime Jaquez is a player, that was the 18th selection in this past draft. So that basically counts as a first-round pick in my eyes. So in that trade that I just showed you, the Blazers would essentially be getting 4 first-round picks with an expiring contract in Duncan Robinson. I don't think they could get much better than that or ask for much more than that when you have a 33-year-old point guard that is demanding a trade to one team and is on a massive contract. That trade feels the most likely. But if you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. And this is Dame trade number 2, and this is a doozy, a 4-teamer. The Heat get Damian Lillard. The Thunder get Caleb Martin. The Nets get Tyler Herro. The Blazers get Lowry and Duncan and 4 first-round picks. This one's a little bit of a wild card. The Heat get to keep Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez, but there has been reported interest from the Oklahoma City Thunder on Caleb Martin, and the Nets, we know they want or are at least open to acquiring Tyler Herro. So the Heat send 2 first-round picks like in the last trade, 27 and 29, but they get rid of Caleb Martin to the Thunder. The Thunder send a first-round pick to Portland, and the Nets get Tyler Herro, and they send a first-round pick to Portland. So the Blazers get 4 first-round picks, Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson, but in this trade, the Heat give up Caleb Martin, and they keep Jaime Jaquez. It's a little bit of a different switcheroo here, which would include 4 teams instead of 3, which is intriguing one that it would be this big of a trade. And there was a report by 5 Reasons Sports Network's head man, Ethan Skolnick, saying that the Thunder and Brooklyn Nets are interested in Caleb Martin. And Caleb Martin is worth a first-round pick. He was really good in this postseason run for Miami, and he almost won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He averaged 19 points a game in that series against Boston while shooting above 50% from the field and above 45% from 3. Caleb Martin has shown what he can do in this league, and not to mention he has 2 years and $14 million left on that contract. He is one of the best contracts in the NBA and has looked as one of the best assets, if not the best Miami Heat trade asset. He is absolutely worth a first-round pick. So if they flipped him to Portland or a different team, it would definitely account for a first-round pick in this trade. But I'll ask you guys this, and I actually saw some split feelings in the chat on Monday or on Tuesday's video on July 4th when I asked the same question. So I kind of want to ask it again and gauge where you guys are at. Are you willing to trade Caleb Martin if it meant getting Damian Lillard? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comments section. This is my 3rd trade idea, and this one is the trade we discussed on Monday's show. The Heat get Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons. The Blazers get Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, and 3 first-round picks, 27 and 29, plus Brooklyn's 25. Nets get Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, and then 2024 second-round pick from Portland. And this is very intriguing to me because it creates a Miami Heat roster I am quite fond of. This is what it would look like if that 3rd trade ended up being the official one that gets done. Dame and Josh Richardson is most likely your starting backcourt with Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jovic, who's been absolutely lighting it up in NBA Summer League, someone I'm very bullish on, in the front court alongside the defensive anchor of Bam Adebayo. And then your bench would look like Ben Simmons 18th overall pick, Jaime Jaquez, Thomas Bryant, who you signed to a vet min, Orlando Robinson, who's on a standard contract, and then you'd get to fill out that bench with 1 or 2 vet minimum contract guys who could be impact players, like Dario Saric maybe, like Christian Wood. The Heat would have a lot of options with this roster. They still lack a three-point shooting with this roster. There's no doubt about that. Some of the vet minimum guys that they would have to sign would be three-point shooters. Maybe they take a look at old man Wesley Matthews to come in off the bench. But this roster has the scoring of Dame, Jimmy and Bam, the upside of Nikola Jovic and Jaquez, the defense of Simmons off the bench, along with Josh Richardson. I would be quite fond of this Miami Heat roster, and I think this team could win an NBA championship. They would just have to add some shooting off the bench, or maybe if when it got to the trade deadline, they'd send future picks to get a shooter at the deadline. So that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section which trade was your favorite. Was it 1, 2, or 3? Let me know down in the comment section, and make sure you do hit that sub button because we are here all off season long to break down the latest on Damian Lillard and your Miami Heat.